The 2021 market crash and what it means to you. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Thanks for checking into another video. So as a California licensed real estate agent who works full-time as a real estate agent, I'm also a landlord, a property owner. I am into real estate. And one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is always, should I buy now or should I wait for the crash? There is so much clickbait going on right now on the internet is that the real estate market is in a bubble and it's going to crash. So I'm going to answer a couple of these questions and hopefully bring some clarity to this subject because I believe it is super important and it's on a lot of people's minds. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing right now is there is a shortage of, and you probably are too, there's a shortage of supply. There's a shortage of inventory. There's very few properties coming on the market. And we're talking residential at the moment. So one of the things that I believe is that anybody that's selling right now, and we are at the peak. We're at the peak of prices. I believe there's not a whole lot of room for it to go up. It could go up a tick or two, but I don't see it continuing on the angle, on the direction that it's been going in these past year. So one of the things that we're seeing right now is anybody that's selling right now, they're either thinking, I'm going to take my money and run, and they're either going to go move and relocate to a different state and maybe rebuy something smaller and just take the money and run. Or B, they just maybe have multiple properties, they're liquidating some in preparation for a crash. Now the thing is, even though unemployment is very high, even though we're in a mortgage forbearance, even though we're in eviction bans, even though we're in all these things, even if all of that was to go sideways and the Biden ends up halting the eviction bans and lets landlords start evicting tenants, I don't think it's going to produce enough inventory to crash the market. And even if it did, as long as the interest rates remain low and there's no indication at the moment that they're going to go get raised, it's going to continue to push demand on the housing market. So that's kind of the tricky thing. And believe me, I've thought about it myself. It's like, is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to sell? What should I do? And it's really tricky. I mean, we all want to sell at the height and buy at the dip, right? That's a no-brainer. We all are trying to time the market. But one of the things when it comes to should I buy right now or should I wait for the crash? That's the big question. So one of the things that I believe is that if you have the ability to buy right now and take advantage of low interest rates and your income is as solid as a rock, then by all means, go ahead and buy. But if you are going to spend your life savings to get into a house and be extremely leveraged, it might be not a bad time to wait. There's always been this rent versus buy. I'm throwing my rent money away. Well, you're really not, unless you're renting huge luxury homes at super high dollar or just super low level stuff. Anything in the middle, it's almost a wash in terms of what you're paying for rent versus what you would have to service the home in terms of a mortgage, property tax, insurance, maintenance. You're really not losing that much money by renting. Plus, guess what? If you want to move, you get to move anytime you want. It's pretty easy for you. So I always say it's not as important to own where you live. It's just important to own. And so my advice is always, try to get in with a partner or something you can do and get like a rental property and then start, building that up. Don't worry so much about owning where you live. You want to own where other people live is a better situation. So one of the things that I believe we're going to see is we're probably, if and when the eviction ban ends, some property owners and landlords are they're going to have such a bad taste in their mouth having gone through what they went through that they're probably going to go on the market and sell. Some of them won't, but many of them will. Then when the forbearance program ends for the mortgage, people that just took mortgage forbearance and they have to start paying their mortgages again, and if there's any shaky forbearances that were written where they have to now also pay some back fees or anything, that might put them against the wall and they might go on to the market as well. So I believe for 2021, what we probably will see maybe around summertime is we'll see some inventory start to come on the market. We'll see prices level. But as long as the interest rates remain low, we're going to put an upward push in demand on properties, and we'll continue to see a semi-stimulated market. I don't think we'll see the crash that we saw in like 08, where it was a complete real estate crash, but I could be wrong. You know, I think if some undetermined factor comes into play that we are unaware of at this moment, which could happen, and you know, throws a loop in the economy, absolutely crashes can happen. But right now, I think 2021, maybe summer, eviction bans in, mortgage forbearance ends, maybe we see some inventory, maybe we see some leveling, slight declines, slight softening. Then it'll, excuse me, it'll put it even a more of an upward push, because the latest, like what happened in 08 or prior to 08, is interest rates are low, you should buy. So interest rates will remain low, prices will have cooled off, people will still probably want to try to, you know, buy homes. But I believe right now, what I don't like about this current housing market, and here I am as a realtor saying this, is it's like this frenzy. You know, it's like people have tunnel vision. They're just willing to buy at any cost, paying over asking, waiving contingencies, waiving inspections, all cash. And so that makes me feel a little euphoric, like people aren't thinking super clearly. So again, everybody's different. This could be a good time for you to buy. It just really depends on your financial situation. Be prepared though, if you buy right now, to see your property reduce in value, not go up in value, not by very much. And eventually it will probably come down in value. But again, your house is your home. If you're financially secure, you love the home, there's no reason why you shouldn't buy the home. Don't let the internet and clickbait scare you off from buying the home. But if you're going to spend your life savings to buy the home, and if something happens, it's going to be devastating or potentially devastating to you, don't feel like you have to buy a home right now. I think it can't hurt to wait. So I hope that helps a little bit. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give the channel a subscribe, like the channel, and I will do my best to bring you more thoughts around real estate and anything else that I can think of. And again, I thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.